Welcome back to another episode of Questions with Mike, where I answer questions that I get asked in consults and think, wow, I get asked this a lot. I should probably make it into a video. You're welcome. So today's question is, who really cares about cover letters? Does anybody even read cover letters? Should I bother doing it? Now, the amount of people who send me cover letters which are utter dog shit is quite unbelievable. And I mean this in the very best way possible. So basically the way that they've written their cover letters is, you know, like you have that bit that you just strip out for like where the company's called and what the job's called, and then they just kind of change it over and over again, right? And funnily enough, they then wonder why no one gets back to them. And these cover letters inevitably are about 400 to 500 words of complete and utter drivel about themselves. Like, I'm really good at this, and I'm really good at that, and I can also do this, and I can also do that, and have absolutely no relation to the company or the job description at all. Now, if you're just going to sit there and send these types of cover letters, which most people do, then probably no one's going to give you a job, because you want to think about cover letters in the same way that you want to think about CVs. I've talked about in an early video about a big mistake that people make with CVs, and basically either thinking that no one is going to look at your cover letter or a person is going to look at your cover letter, when the truth is it's just something that is added to the CV that is then passed by an application tracking system. So if you think this gives you it's like, if you had 800 words to write in an essay, would you just write 400? No, you'd probably try and write 800 so that you could get all 25 points in whatever the essay was, right? So it's exactly the same thing with writing cover letter. But should you submit a cover letter? So number one, if they say it's optional, should I submit a cover letter? Yeah, of course you fucking should. Like, why not? The only reason why you don't is because you're lazy. And I think sometimes some companies will say, look, I'll make it optional and see who actually bothers. The second thing is, stop submitting the same goddamn cover letter to every single company. Loads of you do it, like so many of you. Graduates, professionals. Look, I'm not turning around being a dick about it, but just don't do it. It's not worth it. You are much better taking the time. And if you download in Application Success Secrets, there's like a six-part cover letter cheat sheet. It's 1 page. It's all free, right? Which is basically, who are you, what are you doing, and what are you applying to? Why this company? Why this role? What's good about you? Thanks very much. See you later, right? Because there's often numerous things that people do. They won't talk about the company at all. They won't talk about the job role at all. They'll end with like huge paragraphs like, thank you ever so much for reading my cover letter. I really am looking so forward to seeing you. Please feel free to call, email, Snapchat me. Dude, no one's going to respond to that. And also, like, desperation is never attractive. So don't do it, but do take the time to write a proper cover letter. Now, there are going to be people watching this video going, God, I hate writing cover letters. They take ages. Like, I really fucking hate it. Okay, that's cool. Enjoy being unemployed. But if you're serious about getting a good job, the chances are that you're going to have to write a cover letter, which just means you're starting to learn a new skill. Now, generally when I work with people over a period of time, when they first write a cover letter, it takes them like an hour. Right, so they've got to go and research the company, research the job role. But the trick is that actually the first paragraph and the last paragraph are pretty much always the same. Right, you just change what job you're applying to. The stuff that you're saying about yourself is probably going to be the same. So all that changes is why this company and why this role. So you can pretty quickly start to chunk that time down to, in the end, most people taking like 15, 20 minutes. And you've got a much greater chance of success, because ultimately, would I rather throw 1,000 darts at a dartboard in the dark or 10 in the light? Which one do I think is going to be much better in terms of my ability to succeed and also to not get frustrated and feel like I want to jump out of a window? There is the underlying kind of cause and effect here of figuring out the way to do stuff properly which means that you feel like it is not ripping apart your self-esteem just through constantly being ghosted, getting rejections. And a lot of times when I talk to people about this and they're getting really frustrated, they're also just basically being really lazy and doing whatever they want instead of taking the time to think, am I doing this right? Am I putting my best foot forward? Am I really looking to see what my results are every 5, 10 applications? So the next time you're thinking, oh, I'll just send that same old template cover letter, or should I even bother anyway? Don't send that template cover letter because it looks appalling. And yes, always submit a cover letter.